Hello, my name is Rebekah Vaught, and I am a grad student at the University of Southern Mississippi in their Master of Library and Information Science program. This book talk is an assignment for my Literature and Related Media for Children's class taught by Dr. Catherine Baumhold. I will be discussing 3 different genres of book: a biography, a fantasy, and historical fiction. And then hopefully I can convince you kids to go to your local library and read these books. So without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Recently, a male jazz musician, Robert Glasper, had some very sexist comments to say about women in jazz. Now, to censorize what he said, he basically claimed women do not understand or love jazz the same way that men do. No offense to Mr. Glasper, but you are dead wrong. Some of the greatest jazz musicians of all time have been women. There was Bessie Smith, the Empress of the Blues; Billie Holiday, who is known as Lady Day; I can shatter glass with my voice, Miss Ella Fitzgerald; Sassy Sarah Vaughan; and the fiery Miss Dinah Washington. And how all these ladies were originators. Without them, there wouldn't be any divas today. No Beyonce, no Adele, no Nicki Minaj, no Aretha, no Etta James, nothing you can think of. These ladies set the standard, and their music of jazz is the originator of so many different forms of music today we know about. Hip-hop, rap, soul, R&B, you name it. Jazz was the founder. And a great way to learn about these ladies is to read Miss Leslie Gorse's biographies of them. Sophisticated Ladies, the Great Women of Jazz. This is a book of 14 profiles of different jazz divas. For example, here is Bessie Smith, Empress of the Blues. You can learn about her life, some of her greatest songs, and about her death. Now, be warned, these ladies lived very hard lives, some of them. They had addictions, they went through troubling times, but the great thing about them is they put all that darkness and pain into their music and made something beautiful. They made music that connected emotionally with all of us. What's also great about this book is that it provides a song list of the top key songs that these women sang. For example, for Ethel Waters, there's Stormy Weather. For Billie Holiday, we've got God Bless the Child, Strange Fruit. For Mildred Bailey, there's Rocking Chair. All these different singers. So you can listen to the music. Go on YouTube and listen to recordings while you're reading about them. It'll really connect you with the women. And trust me, this is such a great biography, but at the end of it, you'll be singing, "Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see." Shout out to Miss Ella Fitzgerald for singing the definitive version of that song. I bow down before your greatness. Now, on to fantasy. Imagine that you're the 7th daughter and the youngest child in a large family. You have been told all your life that you're Eastbourne, determined to stay home. However, your true nature is Northbourne. But because of your mother's suspicious nature, she's heard a prophecy that you would die under ice and snow. She's tried to hide it from you. That is the story of Rose, the main character of East. She lives in a farm in Scandinavia, in Norway, with her 6 siblings, her suspicious mother, and her mapmaker father. And they do everything they can to try to keep her homebound, but her adventurous nature won't be quenched. As her older brother Nettie says, it's hard to love a wild thing because they're always leaving you, and you're waiting for them to come back. Now, Rose's real adventure starts when one night a white bear knocks on her family's door. He makes a deal with her. If she leaves with him, he'll provide her family with every bit of prosperity and riches. Being the adventurous girl she is, Rose jumps at the chance to go. and that's when a real adventure starts. Now, if this sounds familiar, that's because East is a modern reimagining of the classic Scandinavian fairy tale, East of the Sun, West of the Moon. What's also great about this book, it has each chapter is on first point of view from different characters. And you get Rose, you get her older brother Nettie, you get her father, and you even get the Troll Queen, who's the villain of the story. You also get with the White Bear's point of view, but his instead of having paragraphs, his thoughts are in poems. This is a great book if you love adventure, if you love travel, or just daring female heroines. This is a great book for you to check out. Please check out East. All right, historical fiction. What do you get when you combine Elizabethan mystery set in Elizabethan England with an old Scottish border ballad called Tam Lin? Well, you get The Perilous Gard, written by Dr. Elizabeth Marie Pope. As you can see, it is a Newbery Honor book. It takes place in 1558 and the main character is Mistress Kate Sutton. She and her sister Alicia are ladies-in-waiting to Princess Elizabeth Tudor, who will one day be known as Queen Elizabeth I. But at this point, she's imprisoned by her jealous sister, Queen Mary Tudor, also known as Bloody Mary. And not many people, as you can imagine, Bloody Mary is very scary and very ruthless. And she does not last thing she wants is her sister to succeed her on the throne. What happens is a dim-witted Alicia writes a very harsh note to Queen Mary complaining about the living conditions that everyone's having to endure at Hatfield, where they're all staying. And Mary, for some reason, blames Kate for her sister's misdeed and banishes her to a castle called the Perilous Gard. Now, the castle is old, and it supposedly sits on land that is ruled by the fairy folk. That's what the common people believe, the peasants. Now, the fairy folk, they are not like this idea of Tinkerbell, little winged ladies with magic wands. They are tall, they're scary, they're dangerous, and they can be very lethal to humans. In fact, what the local people believe is that they kidnap humans to sacrifice to hell. But now Kate doesn't believe this. She's very much a modern 16th century woman. She doesn't believe in superstition. She's very practical, and she really just doesn't have the time to put up with this nonsense. But she soon comes to realize something is going on at Perilous Gard. And she's determined to get to the bottom of it, and eventually she'll save the day. Now, what's great about this book, you get to learn about Elizabethan England, which is a very exciting time in that point in history, very important time, with all the conflicts that were going on, the writers, the strides England was making. You learn about what it's like to be a woman at that point. You also learn what it's like to be a man, or especially a second son like Christopher Heron, who's the main character of this story. And what's also great is you learn about the ballads like Tam Lin. These ballads are part of English culture. They were sung by the folk people. Everyone knew them, and they would change them to fit their tone. Here's one of the lyrics from one of the ballads. Tam Lin. And pleasant is that fairyland to them that in it dwell, but at the end of 7 years they pay attend to hell. And I'm so fair and full of flesh, I fear 'twill be myself. I personally think I sing the blues way better than I sing ballads, but bear with me. What's great about this novel, it's an adventure, it's a mystery, and it has such a great characters, memorable characters. Now, some 11-year-olds, my books are settled for grades 4th to 6th graders, though younger students are perfectly happy to read it if they so wish. Now, some 11-year-olds might say, "Oh, Miss Vaught, it's too long." But I can say this. If you can read Harry Potter, you can read The Perilous Gard. It has an engrossing plot. It's very fast-paced, and you will not get lost. It also has illustrations, so it's not a total big book. Like, for example, here's the illustrations we have. There's Kate. So it's not a slow book. You can really get into it if you want to, and you should read it. Challenge yourself, my children. Challenge yourself. Now, the reason I chose these 3 books is because they were books that when I was 11, I read. They helped build my love of literature and helped me want to pursue a career in both writing books and being a librarian. And I hope that you all will read them. They're older books, so you might want to read them to understand about. There's a lot of them are older books, so you might want to read. You might not have had a chance to read them yet. So please get down. I hope you like them. I hope you check them out, and I hope you have a good evening. Thank you.